AITA for saying I don't think my parents should have had kids and I don't think they could ever be good parents in a family therapy session. As 17 male have been attending family therapy with my parents for the last 6 months. We always needed therapy, like one-on-one therapy and not family therapy, but my parents never saw that. Instead they see it as we need family therapy to fix our relationships, and that's possible without doing anything else because there are no personal problems making our family a train wreck. But that's not true at all. I think my mom has some undiagnosed mental illness. I don't know what. I'm not a doctor or an expert, so of course I can't know for certain. But my mom is the most erratic person I know. She's super controlling of everything around her, from me and dad to the house. Everything has to be done her way, and she's very organized and strict about how things should look or where they should be. When I was younger, homework was the worst part of my day because she insisted I do it in a set place, at a set time, and I had to sit and finish before I could use the bathroom or get a drink. I wasn't allowed to need help because I was told I should know. She would also look over the work my teacher corrected, and she'd get mad if I got one answer wrong or if I made a mistake that she felt was me being sloppy. Dad and I had to do our chores at the time my mom set, and we didn't get to take breaks. A few times we went on vacation with family members and she'd try to control them too and set the schedule for everyone. She's also really paranoid. She hated my best friend's grandma, who was raising my best friend, because his grandma said I was a great kid and she loved having me at their house, and that I was so polite and stuff. My mom saw his grandma's compliments as her wanting to steal me away from her and dad. My second grade teacher brought up the trouble I had with spelling, and my mom was convinced the teacher had it out for her and was accusing her of being a bad mom because the teacher suggested I get some extra help with spelling. She even filed a complaint against the teacher, saying she overstepped and implied her parenting was failing, and that she believed the teacher had a personal grudge against her. I was there when they spoke, and the teacher literally just pointed out I needed more help with spelling. My mom wanted me to move classes, and she ignored any more contact from the teacher and made my dad do it too. She's also convinced my bosses were trying to drive me away from the family because they were sending me home with leftovers to share and teaching me stuff about baking during quiet hours at work. Like, she straight up put $25 worth of baked good in the trash because she believed it was a bad sign from my bosses. I feel like my mom does nothing but berate me while she also comes out with some weird stuff. Her emotions are all over the place too because she could yell at me. But if I sigh in response or if I say okay after being yelled at, she'll cry and ask why I hate her. My dad had a pretty messed up relationship with his dad, and he's repeating that stuff with me. His dad wasn't interested in him, so there are days he'll get really aggressive about us spending time together, and he'll be practically yelling at me to kick a football around with him or go someplace or whatever. It's always been that way. It used to scare me how angry he'd get about it. But on the flip side, when I would seek him out, he'd tell me to give him some ducking space or he didn't have the ducking time. He forgot my birthday 5 different years and never acknowledged it. He was never willing to help me with homework. He'd say it wasn't his job to and I should ask my mom, and when I'd say she didn't believe in helping, he'd say I should follow her rules about it. He also complains like all the time about how much money I cost him. He never hides that stuff from me, and I know his dad used to do that to him as well. So you'd think he knows how it makes a kid feel, but he doesn't seem to care. I'm pretty sure I have some kind of anxiety and depression because of everything. Stuff is way harder for me than it used to be, and there are days I don't know why I bother. There's also the thing of me not trusting my parents anymore. Our relationship basically stopped a year ago, and I was avoiding them. They quickly noticed and tried to make family time a priority, but I resisted, and then they said we needed family therapy. I asked for solo therapy and they said no. They said no to the family therapist when she suggested solo therapy to begin with. Instead, they talk about wanting us to be closer and to fix everything, and how they never expected to be the parents with a teenage kid who doesn't even speak to them anymore. They talked about trying their best, and mom has said I always had issues with them. Even as a baby, I seemed to resent them. They also got highly critical of me in several sessions, and it reached a point where the therapist had to intervene and ask them to consider what they were saying and why they thought that way and felt that way. The other week we had a session, and the therapist made my parents stay quiet longer than they normally would. She asked them to give me more time to speak, and she asked some questions, and some were even about if I wanted to be there and what I'd like to get out of the experience. But at one point a question came up where she asked me if I had anything to get off my chest, to really bring home the problems between us, and that's when I said I didn't think my parents should have had kids and that I didn't think they were capable of being good parents. After therapy, my parents accused me of going too far with those comments, and it came up in the next therapy session, and the therapist challenged them and told them they should have waited until the next session. but they said I went too far and can't take back what I said. The problem is I meant every word of it.